you?
Hi. So we're here today in Philadelphia, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the benefits of meditation. So there's 5 benefits of meditation, and for me that I've discovered, and I've been meditating for about 2.5 years, and it's really changed my life. So the first big one is I do what's called the basic meditation. They call it Vipassana. And you focus on your breath, you focus on your body sensation. So how it works is you concentrate on breathing in and out, and what happens is your mind is gonna wander. Right? And when your mind wanders, you just bring it back to the focus. And then you go back to focusing on your breath, and then your mind wanders again. So over time, what you see is that you start to develop like a control over. It's like working a muscle, right? So when you first start meditating, your mind wanders a lot. Say you meditate for 10 minutes, and then your mind wanders like 100 times. It wanders 100 times, you bring it back 100 times. So you're starting to now work this muscle in your brain that brings your focus back to the breathing, right? So your mind wanders, you bring it back. Your mind wanders, you bring it back. In the beginning, it's hard because that muscle is weak, and you're not so good at bringing it back.
But okay, sometimes it feels like you're pulling yourself out of meditation when you do that. When you wander, try to bring yourself back. What does that mean for meditation?
It's actually what we think about meditation is that you're supposed to be focused on your breath, and then when your mind wanders, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
That's actually not true. When your mind wanders, it's doing what it's supposed to do. So that is actually a part of meditation. You're doing it right. And how you get the benefit is when you work that brain muscle to bring it back, right? So if your mind wanders 100 times in 10 minutes, or 15 minutes, or 20 minutes, you bring it back 100 times. Now you've worked that muscle 100 times.
Yeah.
And if you meditate for 10 days, a month, a year, 10 years, that muscle just gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and it's easier and easier and easier for you to focus. It's easier for you to bring it back. It's easier for you to start to control your thoughts.
Yeah.
And once you start to be able to control your thoughts, what's amazing is you start to be able to control your emotions. And if you can gain control of your emotions, you're going to be better off than most people, right? A lot of people. A lot of people can't control their emotions. So what I find is that when I'm faced with, like road rage, for example, you're driving, somebody does something infuriating. In the past, I would be so angry and I want to retaliate or honk or whatever. And now, because this muscle is so strong, I'm able to just bring it back. You just bring it back. You breathe and you bring it back. You focus on the breath. And in that moment, instead of reacting, you have an extra second. You have an extra 2 seconds. And you just start, and you keep working it. So that's the first benefit, is that you start to improve this brain muscle that helps you bring your thoughts and your emotions back to the breath. And it gives you that extra second or 2 to react.
Yeah.
And it may not seem like a long time, but when you're emotional, when you're over the top, when you're about to pop off, that extra second or 2 can actually mean a lot. It can actually make a huge difference. And as you progress in your meditation practice, you'll find that extra second becomes extra 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and you're able to kind of begin to process, The second major benefit of meditation, and I think you can relate on this, and probably a lot of people, is that we are very hard on ourselves. I'm really hard on myself. And when I meditate and my mind used to wander, I would get upset with myself. It's like, oh my God, I can't even think about nothing. I can't even do this one thing that's so simple, which is to not think about anything. I have to think about something. So I would get upset with myself every time my mind wandered. But what I realized over time is that your mind is supposed to wander. That is part of the practice. That's when you know you're doing it right. So what happens when your mind wanders is that you bring it back and then you forgive yourself. So you notice that your mind's wander, you accept it, and then you bring it back. and you practice this 100 times a day, notice, accept, bring it back. Notice, accept, bring it back. Notice, accept, move on. Notice, accept, move on. You begin to develop this sense of acceptance of yourself. You start to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you're human. Your mind wanders. That's what minds do. And when you make mistakes, it's like, well, I made a mistake. I'm human. And once you start to forgive yourself, you develop this compassion for a lot of other things, you know, for other people, for when things don't go your way, for, you know, natural disasters, not natural disasters, but, you know, there's your plan and then there's the universe's plan. And guess who usually wins? And a lot of times when our plan isn't aligned with the universe's plan, we rail against it. You know, we're frustrated, we're upset, we develop resentment. So and so should have done that. You know, so and so ought to have done that. And when they don't meet our expectations, we get really mad. But when you practice notice, accepting, and moving on 100 times a day, it's become surprising how many things you can start to let go, and you're not so demanding of everybody in the world meeting your standards. And I think this habit of forgiving myself has just been so, probably the biggest benefit I got out of meditation is this development of self-compassion.
Yeah.
It taught me a lot of patience. The third major benefit I got out of meditation is when we are living our lives, we are constantly judging and evaluating each moment. You know, am I happy? Good. Am I not happy? Bad. You know, am I successful? Good. Am I not successful? Bad. But what you realize is that emotions are transient. They don't stay. Nothing is permanent within us. So each moment goes by. How we feel changes constantly. What's around us, our environment, things that are right now is going to change constantly. So what we do in meditation is we start to live in that present moment with this breath, just feeling alive, you know, connecting with the pulse of that universe. And we're not so focused on the things that are constantly changing. The past is gone. The past is just memories, right? It's just electronic, synaptic nerve cells firing off somehow, like we store it somewhere in our mysterious brain. And the future doesn't exist. The future hasn't happened. So all we have, our whole life is just made up of the present moment, and a lot of it. So to be able to live in this present moment and accept how we feel, really feel, you know, in this present moment, it's a gift. The fourth major benefit I got out of meditation, and I'm still like figuring it out, is that we live on an everyday basis on this one level of consciousness, right? So we notice things, we think, we process, we feel emotions. But there's actually another level, and maybe many more levels of consciousness that we're not fully aware of. So part of it is that we are all connected to this universal intelligence. And I don't fully understand it, but I think when you start to practice meditation, you start to develop this other level of consciousness where you start to notice yourself. Like it's almost like you're looking up at yourself. It's a self-awareness. It's like, oh, I'm feeling infuriated because of this. Or look at me really grieving. Or look at me being really frustrated. Or look at me like stubborn. You know, like you start to, it's almost like a out-of-body experience where
like
you're
a
looking
meta
at yourself,
thing.
reacting and experiencing things. But I don't fully grasp that part of it yet. But I think the more you practice, and as I develop in my practice, I think I will become more in touch with that other level of consciousness. And for people that are enlightened, I don't even know really what that means. Maybe they dwell more time, you know, in that other level of consciousness. And the final major benefit that I got from meditating is, if you think about our daily lives, we spend so much time kind of not in control of our thoughts and what we focus on, right? Because for 8 hours a day, we're asleep, and then the other 16 hours, a lot of times we're on autopilot, right? So when we're at work, a lot of us are like we don't get to think about or focus on what we want to think about and focus on because we have tasks that we have to do, we have assignments we have to complete, we have projects. So we're basically, somebody else dictates, either our boss or the company, it dictates what we focus on. And then the other 8 hours, a lot of times we're like commuting, brushing our teeth, we're showering, walking the dog. We're on autopilot. We're just basically like, we're not even thinking. We can do it in our sleep. We're kind of, and then a little bit of free time we do have. What do? We're on social media. We're being fed all sorts of information from all around us by marketing people that make movies on Netflix, people that make YouTube videos. We're being constantly told what to think about, what to focus on. So how many of us really have time to think about and focus on something for us? Where we're actually reading, or we're creating something, or we're like getting in touch with nature, or we're, writing and putting our thoughts down, or having a meaningful conversation, or really like feeling, looking at an awesome landmark or scenery. How much time do we have where our brain is not being occupied by other people dictating what to think about and what to experience for us? And I think meditation is that 10 or 20 minutes out of the day where it's actually yours. That's your time to focus. When you think about like freedom, what is that? It's the freedom to be physically where you want to be, but it's also the freedom to think what you want to think. And very few of us, especially in our very busy society, with more and more demands put upon us, with family and kids and pets and school and work, we just have fewer and fewer time for ourselves. And the little bit we have is devoted to, like I said, social media and videos and movies and TV shows where, again, we're not really, that's not really us thinking, that's somebody else telling us what to think. So meditation is that oasis of time that you have in this hectic life. That's yours, it's all yours. So take it. Take that time and learn again and again to work that muscle, forgive yourself, love yourself, that self-compassion, live in that moment. I'm sure there's a lot more to meditation that I haven't, even began to grasp, but those are the 5 areas that I've discovered over the last 2.5 years of practice. And I hope that you enjoy meditation and give it a try and keep an open mind.
Oh.
Bye.